So just a little while ago, I had a press conference and was expressing, as Hartford areas rallied together, as the executive director, our huge disappointment in how we have gone about making some critical decisions about school choice, school models in this city. My basic message was that parents' authentic voices have not been heard, that they haven't really been engaged in this process, and that information has not been provided to them properly, on time, and moving forward. But I have three parents here. Two of them are parents of kids currently in Capital Prep. One of them is Ms. Leitner, who is a parent of children at Sands. And so I want to give you guys the opportunity to chime in terms of your opinions about what you're seeing happening in your community and what you think should be happening and isn't happening.
Well, I echo what you said. In terms of making such an important decision in regards to replicating the school, I don't understand why they did not include or invite the Sands parents to the table to explain to them the model, so they wouldn't have misinformation, or if they did have questions, they could identify the questions, and then the questions could be answered, and then we went to the meeting on the 19th. They could have went there in unity if they did, approve the model. So that's my question. Why didn't the Board of Education, say, hey, something has to be done, and these are our options, and this is what we would like to do. What's your opinion? Not that they wouldn't go forward, but at least the parents will have some type of understanding what's going on.
Ms. Leitner, you went to the school meeting at the school about the model, and then where was your stance on what you wanted to see happen for your child in your school?
I would like Capital Prep to take over Sands School, put the model of Sands School at Capital Prep. I feel Mr. Stephen Perry would be a better leader for the school. I feel the children would get a better education.
Now, do you think as a parent that you were provided the opportunity to know exactly what was going on and to be able to make your presence and your voice heard in this process?
No, I was not informed in a timely manner. Everything was rushed and everything was in secret. And I speak for a lot of parents who were not able to be here today because we wasn't informed about it. So how will we be able to support our opinion if we're not heard?
Ms. Leitner, you're one of those parents that approached Hart and said, we need your help because my voice has not been heard. And we were out with you in your community, helping you canvass and helping you go door to door. One of the things we found as Hart that we were appallingly shocked how many parents just did not even know decisions were being made, and how many other parents were like you who said, I wanted it, but nobody told me that I needed to go to this meeting and say anything. I thought I said what I needed to say at the community meeting, and I said it, that people were going to take that information and provide it to others, and they didn't. Is that how you're feeling?
Yeah, I'm feeling really bad that we didn't have the opportunity to represent our children. Our children at Sands School reading, seventh grade students are reading on the first grade. That's
a shame. That's a shame.
Fifth graders are reading in first grade.
Yeah, that's right.
That's a shame. And I'm saying to myself, well, why do our kids have to be illiterate? Why we can't produce professionals? Why we can't produce doctors, nurses, lawyers? When you have a child who can't read and the child is not performing on their grade level, not even halfway near the grade level, then how do you expect them to become productive in society? And why our children can't go to college? Why? Why we don't have that offer on the table? And where's the $3 million that was proposed for the STEM?
So I think that there are a lot of questions that have left unanswered. I think that part of this issue has been the lack of effort, due diligence. If this was in any other profession, whether it be the medical profession or the legal profession, if you're not able to prove due diligence, then it's malpractice. And so I think where we stand now is that there has been malpractice in our neighborhoods and in our community, parents have not been given the kind of information they need to be able to make the
Right.
kind of decisions
Right, and
they
let me
need to
just
make.
add to that. Okay, that has passed, but what are we going to do about those kids at Sands, what are we going to do with those kids at Clark? They need to do something because they just can't stay in this current status, of failing. So something has to be done.
And I agree with you. Something has to be done. It has to be done now. These parents and children should not have to wait another year, another 2 years for us to get our acts together. That somehow we came to the determination that whatever was proposed at each of these schools was not the right fit, but we cannot wait again to find the right fit. We need to keep this
Well,
agenda
right,
moving.
right, they need to inform the parents about the proposal. So if they have any questions, and then they can have the opportunity to respond to it. And then you have to engage the community because you don't want resistance. You don't want people to feel like they're not a part of the community. You want them to participate into the program. You don't want any, hostility or anything. So let's just call everybody, all the stakeholders, proposal, parents, this is what it is. Do you have any questions? If they have questions, answer it, move forward.
We have to make sure that we reach out to as many parents as possible. We may not have 100 enrolled, but we can't be settled for just half a dozen to speak for so many people.
I want to say I'm outraged because my kids attend STEM school, and just like a lot of other parents who are at home and unable to come to this meeting, they're outraged too. When I was passing out flyers this morning and they found out about what decisions was made without our opinion, how do our kids go to this school and our voice is not heard? It's our children that's going to this school. Our voices must be heard. You can't make a decision without talking to us. We the parents. Without our children, you have no school. There's no SANS. There's no Capital Prep, no Clark. There's no school system without our kids. We should have. I'm outraged. I'm very outraged. I am furious because I didn't have a voice. You're making a decision on my child, but without what I want for my children deserve better. I have one child that had to be removed out of SANS because SANS didn't have any structure, and my child had no structure. Therefore, I had to force the school system to move my child out. Now, what I have to do? Take my other child out of this school system? Why should I should have a choice to send my child to the suburbs? I live in Hartford. I don't want to go to the suburbs. If I want to live in the suburbs and put my kids in the schools in the suburbs, then that's what I would do. But I live in the city, and I want my kids to go to school in the city. And I should have a voice. My children should have a voice and have a right to go to whatever school I choose for them to go to. And I feel Stephen Perry School is a better model for STEM.
Thank you. Any other questions or any other ideas, ladies?
Oh, I just reiterate, you need to engage the community so when you have, we won't have parents that are left out of the loop. Include everybody so they can have the information and then they can make a discussion from there.
I agree. I think one of the things that has happened as a result is that a decision was made about Clark, a decision has been made about Sand, yet once the decision was made, no continued conversation, no significant effort has continued to be made to say, okay, if it's not then what?
Exactly.
It seems that we are okay with children in failing schools.
And that is unacceptable.
Lastly, why are the meetings so far away from the community? We have a school. Capital Prep is a school that is at on trial right now. That's what I call it, trial. Really our children are on trial, and the school is the case. Why does meeting can't be in the neighborhood where parents can reach you? It's like it's purposely set away from the neighborhood so that people who don't have a car, who have children, can't reach the meeting. It's like purposely like we're so ignorant. We don't need an opinion. We don't have a voice. Forget your voice. It's sad. We have Capital Prep on Main Street. We have Sands on Main Street. Why is this meeting downtown? Why? Why am I paying for parking?
Exactly. When you have free parking.
I'm curious, as a parent, forgive me, I came a little late. I'm wondering, can you explain to us and consequently to our viewers tonight, as parents, why you would prefer to send your children to magnet schools as opposed to a traditional school?
Because I'm a graduate of the Hartford school system. Hartford school system been failing for a long time. This just didn't start today. I had a child that went to Capital Prep, and I didn't like Mr. Perry. I'm just gonna say that. Okay, I didn't. But what Mr. Perry had to offer my son, I learned it wasn't about me. And right now, it's not about me. It's not about the parents. It's about our children. What's better for our children? And the public school is failing. It's failing. You have the statistics, it's failing. Why should we continue to support schools to fail? Why, with the magnet schools and the prep schools are doing better, then why our kids don't have the opportunity? I want my daughter not to be 15 years old with a baby. I don't want her to go to the welfare department and ask for benefits. I want her to go to college and do something positive for herself. I don't want my son in handcuffs sitting in jail. I don't want my son in a gang. I want my son to go to a school where a principal care about him. And just like I said, me and Mr. Perry, we didn't get along when my son went to the school. But you know what? He did his job. He did his job. My son got A's, B's. My son went to trade school. My son has no police record. My son he's working, and he's a active member that participates in the neighborhood. You know, and I want that for my children. I want them to be productive.
And for somebody watching at home tonight, also from your perspective, what do you think, given what's being discussed here, what do you think is the most important thing to keep?
The most important thing to keep in mind is the children and their education and their future. I just want to ask you guys, in your neighborhood, do you see nurses live next to you, doctors, lawyers? In my neighborhood, I don't. I think our kids should be afforded that opportunity to see that. And if they can't see that, then know what? They should be it. Educate, not babysit. We need change. We need change, and we need change now. And if Mr. Perry's model worked for his school, 4,000 parents trying to get their kids, students trying to get into Capital Prep. If Capital Prep worked, why not? Our kids are worth it. A lot of parents was misinformed. A lot of the teachers were misinforming them last week. I have parents coming up to me, talking to me, thinking the school is going to move. The school is not moving. They're not taking the kids out the building. It's a model. And if the model works, why not? Give it to them. Give it to them. Give them a chance.